Ma'am, if this is a repeat session, can I join back after
Yes,
10, 11?
Abhishek, you can because last session also I didn't do much. Only I have stopped with strings. I think strings also you have attended, right? So nothing
Yeah,
more
ma'am.
I have gone. So you can join back at 11:30.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, okay, fine. So Dinesh and Ketaki, I hope the screen is visible to you all.
Yep, I can see.
Yes. So to get started with Python, let's start by understanding or having an overview of what the features of Python are. So Python is one of the most popular programming language. It's it's very popular. You can see the presence of Python in almost all the tech domains, right? Especially in the latest technologies like data science or machine learning or artificial intelligence, or even in web development, Python is playing its own key roles. So what makes Python so popular? It's definitely the features of Python that is making it so popular. And let's begin by understanding the few features of Python. So have you heard or are you familiar with any of the features of Python? Let's begin with the simplest common features. We say Python is a high-level programming language. What do you mean by high-level programming language? I think Ketan can explain more about this. What do you mean by a high-level programming language? Hi, Gaurav. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah.
Sorry for
So,
joining late.
no, no, no. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ketaki.
so
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
most of the times we have programs interacting directly with the hardware, and then
Hmm,
at a high level, more
hmm,
abstraction level is there.
hmm,
So more closer to human language.
hmm. Yes. Yes, Python, we say that it's a high level programming language because the instructions or commands that we like write here or implement here is more common to the English communication language that we use. An example I can give is we use a command print. So what do you mean by print? Suppose if I'm giving Python instruction like this, print hello. This is a Python statement. What can you infer from this statement? Print hello. What might be doing? I'd like to hear from Dinesh because he has not explored any programming languages till now. So Dinesh, could you give a guess what this statement might be doing?
Printing hello statement.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
even if you are not familiar with the language, just by seeing the instructions, you can make out to a certain level that what is happening. Because the instructions or syntax are the very common to the English communication language that we use. So most of the syntax, if you look with Python, it is very simple. So that's why we say that Python is easy to learn. So as a beginner to start with Python is it's a good choice, I'll say. And I'll recommend starting with Python. It's not a hurdle at all. Like those who have learned other programming languages like Ketaki will be more able to correlate because stuffs with C or C++ or Java, you have a whole bunch of syntax to deal with. You need to take care of semicolons, curly brackets, etc., etc. But all those hurdles are avoided here in Python. So all those stuffs we'll see in depth when we start the coding part and technical discussions. Okay. So that's about the high level programming language. Any other features? So as I said, simpler syntaxes. or it has got an elegant syntax which is supporting to implement our task in a much easier way. Anything else that's coming to your mind?
So
Hmm.
it can be used in different. It has different frameworks as well. Like we can develop UI
Yes.
and we can
Yes.
communicate with database
Framework.
as
That
well.
is, I'd say it has got a support of huge libraries.
Libraries, yeah, that's.
Yes, it has the support of huge libraries. That is, you have so many inbuilt packages or modules or functions available with Python. So again, as I told, the advantages, you don't have to start anything from scratch. You have stuffs ready-made. You just have to make the use of the same in your logics or developments. So as you see, Django is a framework which we use for web development. So like that, not to framework levels also, if you look at some implementing simple logics, you have small functions or modules available, which you just have to make a call to the respective module, or you just have to import the same to your current source file and you can just start working. You don't have to start everything from scratch. Everything is, most of the stuffs are available ready-made, and it's an open source. You have a wide community that is available, which is updating things every day, we can say. Then another important feature of Python is an object-oriented programming language. Python is an object-oriented programming language. So any object-oriented programming language, the pillars of OOPS, we say class, object, then few features like abstraction, then encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. These are the pillars of any object-oriented programming language. So as I said, Python is an object-oriented programming language. These features are supported by Python as well. So these are really helpful features for implementing your task, wherein using object-oriented programming features, you're trying to solve the real-time problems. So what these features, how we are going to use this, we'll explore in detail as we proceed in our sessions. So I think you can easily make out what inheritance and polymorphism is. What do you mean by inheritance? Inheritance, let's not talk in programming terms. When I say the term inheritance, what's your understanding?
More like parent-child.
Yes, more like parent-child. That is, you're acquiring the properties of something that is already existing. Right, same thing in programming also you can use. You can, that is, if inheritance in terms of parent and child, if we look at the features of parent, the child can use, plus the child will have their own characteristics. So you are reusing, that is something already existing, plus you are adding new features to the same. So same concept, reusability of a code, we can do in programming as well by using the inheritance concept of object-oriented programming language. Coming to polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Poly means what?
Multiple
Multiple. Many. Morph means form.
forms.
So the ability to exist in multiple forms. The ability of your data to exist in multiple forms. That's what referred to as polymorphism. Any real-time example you can give me for polymorphism? Polymorphism is the ability to exist in multiple forms. So any real time example you can take?
Regarding programming, or do you need?
No, not related to programming. Any examples?
So water can be the one, right?
Yes,
It
water
exists in
existing in
almost
solid,
all.
liquid, and gaseous form. Yes. Then you look at yourself. We all are showing polymorphic behaviors, I can say. We all are examples of polymorphisms. How are we polymorphic behavior?
We are. I mean,
Mm.
we like a working professional. We manage
Yes.
office as well as
Yes.
we
Exactly.
have
Yes.
different characteristics.
Yes.
Like,
It's you that is present everywhere,
yeah.
right? So if I say myself as an example of polymorphism, I'm a trainer here. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter. So it's like me in playing multiple characteristics. So each one of us can cite ourselves as a polymorphic behavior or examples of polymorphism. So same we'll use in programming also. We can make our data to exist in different forms, different implementations we will give for our data. So that's about polymorphism. And all these features are we will implement using the class and object concepts. So in Python, so since it's an object-oriented programming language, everything in Python is looked upon as an object. We'll see in depth discussions about the what class, what object is, and how we say that everything in Python is objects. We'll see that. Right. So these are an important characteristics, what I could say to start with Python, like high-level programming language, simpler syntaxes, was libraries, object-oriented programming features, right? So, okay, now let's move with the tool that we use to implement Python, the software part. We'll be using the Jupyter notebooks to execute and run our program. So I am going to do the same with the help of Anaconda. Gaurav, have you installed Anaconda?
Yes. Yeah, I've
Okay.
installed Anaconda.
Okay, so you have Jupyter notebook ready with you, right? So
I've not launched Jupyter Notebook. I've just
Okay.
downloaded Anaconda.
Okay, fine, no issues. Ketaki and Dinesh, I don't think you have Anaconda with you.
Nope.
No, okay. I'll guide you through the same. What you have to do is you can visit this website. Anaconda.org. I'll put it in the chat box as well. It's already there, but still, yes.
One question yet. Actually,
Yes.
your name is Aswati, right?
Yes, Gaurav.
Okay. One question regarding Anaconda. When we are going to implement the libraries or import function in Python while coding, so do we also need to launch Python from Anaconda,
See,
or do we need
Anaconda
to?
already has Python installed with it. You don't have to do it separately. Anaconda, why I prefer Anaconda is most of the packages are already done with Anaconda. So you will not have to install them separately. Whereas if you go with the other IDs, sometimes you will have to install the supporting packages separately. For Python core, it's okay. But if you want to go proceed with any domain specifically, other IDEs, you will have to install some packages separately. Whereas in Anaconda, everything is available within itself. So it is easier to work with Anaconda. That's why I prefer going with Anaconda.
So Anaconda Navigator, right?
Yes, Anaconda Navigator. It already has Python. You don't have to install it separately.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't understand what we need to do. Uh,
I have put it in the chat box, a link I have given. You have to visit this site, anaconda.org.
okay.
Okay. And there, my screen is visible, right? You have the option here, download Anaconda.
Yes.
And then you have the option Anaconda Individual Edition. Just hit on the download button. It's going to take little time, but hit on the download button. And once the downloading is done, you can install the same. I hope this part is clear to all.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just download, hit the download button and wait for a while. It's going to take little time. Let the process happen. Parallelly, we will continue with our discussion also. So once everything is done, you can search for your, once you have installed, you can search for the Anaconda Navigator here. You will have to click onto the Anaconda Navigator, and this is the setup that you're going to see. This is our Anaconda Navigator. And from here, you can choose the Jupyter Notebook. Hit on the launch button of Jupyter Notebook. So this will open a Jupyter Notebook that we'll be using to build and run our Python code. So this will be, you will have a working environment like this. So this is your present working directory. From here, to get started with a new Jupyter Notebook, you can go to the new button here, wherein you have the Python 3 option. So just click on that. It will open your Jupyter Notebook. This is the working environment that you're going to use to build and run your program. So these are the cells. We call these as cells. And we are going to write the Python code in this cell. And we will be running the cells to execute the program.
Can we directly save the files in the folder like in our
Yes,
PC?
you can create your folders as well. That is, this is your present working directory when you launch the Jupyter Notebook. What you can do is, if you have to if you have to put your files into a folder, you have an option here, folder, new folder. Okay, create a folder.
No, actually, not from Jupyter. I was talking about from our PC or laptop, whatever we are
You can.
using,
That is, suppose
in our
if you
folder.
have, yes. Suppose, see, you have paths here. Desktop is there, downloads is there, documents is there. So you select, suppose if you want to create a folder in desktop, you select this desktop. And then here you can create a folder. Or else if you want to start from your system, wherever you want, you create your folder. Suppose here in desktop, you want to create a folder. You create your folder. Suppose let me name this as Python. Okay. And if you want to add your files to this folder, what you can do is from this working directory, change the directory to desktop. Okay, I'm already into desktop. Okay. Here in desktop, you have created this folder Python class. So just click on Python class, open that folder, and then you create your new file from here. New Python 3. And you can rename your files. File, you have a rename option. So this is a file in your desktop folder by name Python class and my file name. So you can have it anywhere. Only thing is you'll have to change the path from the Jupyter present working directory. You can navigate anywhere you want.
One more question here. So apart, so Jupyter Notebook, we are using it for Python coding, right?
Yes.
What about if I using a Django framework? Will that be working with Jupyter as well, or do I need to use different IDE for that?
For Django framework, you can use PyCharm. That will be better. You can use Jupyter Notebooks also, but there more comfortable will be to use this PyCharm or IDs like that.
Okay, so it changes according to the packages, right?
Yes, mostly, but it depends on people also, how comfortable you are working with. No issues. You can use any because with the Django framework and all, you'll be mostly using your command window to execute few instructions. So that is, you'll be using multiple files. So if that is the case, my personal comfort level is to switch to PyCharm. So that depends. And no issues. You can still proceed with the Jupyter notebooks also. But see, it's all about IDs. So more where you have to concentrate us into your coding part. IDs you can switch anything. It's not going to have an impact on your work.
Yeah. So even from from Anaconda, if I launch PyCharm here, so that
Yes.
that will have all the libraries.
Yeah, that will have
by
inside.
default, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
What's PyCharm?
It's another ID for building and running your Python. Like Jupyter Notebook, it's another ID where you can write your Python code and you can execute your file. Like you use code blocks or your other programming languages where you use their IDs. It is just another ID to create your program and build and run the code. So, Ketaki and Dinesh, what is your status? Is it still
Installing.
installing? Okay.
But I have a PyCharm.
You have PyCharm, okay. But let's all be on the same page so that it's not creating any confusions.
Okay.
Just have it with the Jupyter Notebook.
Yeah.
It's taking little time for me to download.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so that's about the ID and software stuff I would like to discuss. Let's move with the programming part. Let's start with the basic building blocks of our program. Let me start with handling your inputs and outputs in Python. Gaurav, I hope you have already attended the session, right?
Yeah, last actually that was I was not able to hear and
Okay, you were
see,
traveling, I
so
guess.
maybe
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, fine, no problem. So input and output means what? When I say handling inputs and handling outputs, let's start with handling outputs. What is this output?
Output is the result of the code that we are writing, or instruction set of instructions that you gave to.
Yes. Anything that data you want to communicate to the user or you would like to display onto the screen, we call it as the output. So in Python, to handle output or to display your data onto the screen, we use the print method. Print, if it's a text that you have to display or a statement that you have to display, enclose your text within the double quotes. Say, for example, I want to print the statement, good morning. Use the print method. Whatever the text that you want to print, enclose the same within the double quotes. So this is the command that I have to use to display a statement, good morning all. So I have written the instructions into this particular cell. Now, how am I going to run the cell so that I can see my output? If there are no syntactical errors or if there are no errors in my code, it's going to give me an output. And as per this code, the output that I'm going to get is a statement, good morning, all that is displayed. For the same, what you can do is you can hit on this run button. When you hit the run button, it runs the cell, particular cell, that is the cell number 1. It displays your output because I have used the print method. It is displaying my output and it moves to the next cell. So instead of hitting this run button, you can use a shortcut key as well. You can press Shift and Enter button. Shift Enter also does the same task as similar to you hitting the run button of your Jupyter notebook. So either way you can go. So that is how you execute your cells. So you will get familiarized with that as we proceed in our sessions because that's going to be repeated a number of times. My point here is the print method. So if you intend to display a data onto the screen, you will have to use the print method followed by the parenthesis, the small bracket. Dinesh, it's for you. I'm giving these detailed explanation because you are very new to programming.
Yeah.
So the small brackets is what we call as parenthesis, and the text, whatever you intend to display onto the screen, put it within double quotes. So this is the syntax, how you're going to use the print method for displaying a data onto the screen. Following me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, suppose you have a variable. You have something like you want to display the content of a variable. So what do you mean by a variable? I think Ketaki can explain this. What is a variable?
So it is a value that holds it holds different values,
Yes.
and we can change that as and when required.
Yes.
It's like a container.
Container, yes, that is. Suppose you have a data 100. You want to store it to some part of your memory, right? So suppose if this is getting stored to a location, say 0x500. I say that this data 100 is getting stored to a location of 0x500. If I had 200, I will say it is getting stored to a location 0x600. It could be anything, any addresses. So all my data are getting stored to some part of my memory and I have a valid address to access access the values. So if I'm not using this variable concept, what is the mean by which I can access 100? I have stored 100 to a part of my memory. I have stored 200 to another part of my memory. How can I access them? How can I retrieve these data from memory?
From the address, memory address.
From the addresses. I will have to refer to this address 0x500 to access 100. I'll have to refer to 0x600 to access 200. Like that, I'm not going to have only 100 and 200. I'm going to have multiple datas. So to access or retrieve these datas, I will have to have an idea about what their addresses are. So that's not an easy process, right? To remember their addresses and to access your data through the addresses, that's not going to be that easy. So instead of having or looking into their addresses to receive these data, if I use the concept of variable, if I say A, instead of the 0x500, I'm referring to A. If this, I'm referring to B. That is easing out my task. So these A and B is what I refer to as variables. So I can say these are the named memory locations. They are the named memory locations. So in Python, unlike other programming languages, you don't have to pre-declare your variables. You can simply use a variable name. Suppose if it is A, I will say A and assign it with the data that you want to store to your memory. If I say A equal to 10, I'll call A here as a variable, which is holding the value 10. If I say B equal to 2.3, B will be holding a data of 2.3. Right? If I say C equal to, when I say 1 plus 3j, what kind of data is 1 plus 3j? What kind of data is 1 plus 3j?
It's a integer, right?
No,
Sorry,
1
no.
plus 3.
3j is string.
String data.
No. These are complex data. You have a real part and an imaginary part. So Python is capable of even handling the complex data. You have a data type. We'll come to data type. At that time, you'll see you have even complex data. Now, if I say another variable, D equal to, if I put single quotes, it is referring to a string. If I use double quotes to enclose my data, that is also referring to a string. In Python, there is no difference between using a single quotes and a double quotes. If I say hello, hello within single quotes is a string data type. So enclosing your data within single quotes or double quotes, there is no difference in Python. You can use them interchangeably. 4 variables here now, A, B, C, and D, and they are holding different types of data. I'll say A is holding an integer. B has decimal values, right? 2.3. It has a decimal data as well. So I will say B is a float type of data. This is an integer. This is an integer. And to handle decimal data, we have the float type in Python. And this is complex as I told. D is, I will say it's a string. The group of characters, we call it as string. So what kinds of data are you going to handle? To explain that or to describe that, we have something called as data types. Data type explains what kinds of data you are going to handle. So numeric data types. So these are all inbuilt with Python. the numeric inbuilt data types available with Python are integer, int. Then to handle the decimal data, we have float. And then to handle complex data, we have complex. That is, if you have to handle the real and imaginary part types of data, you have complex data type. And to handle strings, you have the data types string, which is str type. So these are the list of numeric data types that is available in Python: int, float, complex, and string. Following me? So there is a method in Python called as type to check the data type of a variable. So if I say, let me print the data type. So, or I'm going to display the data type of my variable. So I will use the print method. Now, to check the data type of a particular variable, I can use another method called as type. Type of, you want to check the data type of A, I will say type of A. If I execute this cell, you can see your output class int. So what this class is, I told everything in Python is treated as objects. So to handle the integer data, you have an inbuilt class, and that class object is what we call as int. You will get to know more details about class and objects soon when we start with the object-oriented concepts. As of now, please keep in mind that these are all the objects of particular classes in Python. So simply you can look at this part int alone as of now. So if you're not using the print method, if you simply say type of A, it will give you the output as int. Means it is giving you the data type of the variable A, which is integer. So type method will help you to give the data type of a particular variable. Another point that you have to note here is the data type of a variable in Python is determined by the data with which you initialize the same. If you initialize A with integer, the data type of A will be int. If you initialize A with a float, the data type of A will be float. If you initialize A with complex, the data type of A will be complex. So it matters here in Python with which type of data you're going to initialize the variable. Whereas Ketaki can relate this in other programming languages, you'll have to first declare the type of variable and then assign the variable with a value. But it's not that the case here in Python. You just use the variable, assign it with a particular value. So what kind of value is that? Is it an integer? Is it a string? Is it a float? Is it a complex? That is going to determine the type of your variable, the data type. So same way, you can check the type of B. It will be float. If you check the type of C, it will be complex. If you check the type of D, that will be string str. So these are all the primitive or inbuilt data types available in Python. So integer, float, and complex are for handling the numeric data. And string, we will see more details about string soon. So string is a sequence data type that you have in Python. So let's look into first the numeric data types available. That is integer, float, and complex. Following me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay. So is your ID's installation completed? Or is it still going on?
It's still going on. I guess there is some issue at my side for network. That's why.
Okay, okay, my good.
It usually takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time.
25, at least
Yes.
25 minutes.
Dinesh, what about you?
It's completed.
So is your notebook available right now? Gaurav, is the notebook ready with you now?
Yes.
You can execute and verify. Are you verifying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's one query here.
Yes.
So I've launched Jupyter Notebook. It by default opens in Microsoft Edge, and when I copy paste the address in Chrome, it is asking me for login details.
Login details. You didn't sign up with an
No.
You don't have to sign up as well. It's the individual edition that you have to go up. So it doesn't ask for credentials.
Okay, that's fine. I will use it in Edge only. Let's check.
Okay. Okay, so this is about numeric data types. So coming back to our print method, suppose if you want to display the value of variable a, that is, suppose if you are expecting the output to be like, suppose I want my output to be a equal to 10. I want to display my output like this. How can I use the print statement? Okay, I want to display the value of my variable a. So I want my output to be framed like this, a equal to, followed by whatever the content of my variable a. So as per our case, the a is initialized with a 10. So a is going to display a value of 10. How can you use your print statement? That's what we are going to see next. So I will call the print method, and you know a equal to, it's a text that you want to display, followed by the value of the variable a. So what you have to do is enclose a equal to within double quotes, then use a comma operator and specify the name of the variable whose value you want to display. So here in our case, we want to display the value of variable a. So I will give the variable name here as a. If I execute this cell, I can get the output as what? A equal to 10. Suppose instead of giving this variable a, if I have given the name of the variable b, it will display a text a equal to, followed by, it would have printed or it would have displayed the content of variable b. So if I run this, I'll get a equal to 2.3. So this a, it's just simply a text, whatever we are giving here, like we gave good morning. So this variable name is going to determine here the content of which variable you're going to display. Suppose if you don't want any text statement, simply if you say print of a, this will give you the content of variable a. Simply if you say print c, it will display the content of that particular variable. So what or how will I use my print statement so that I can formulate an output like a equal to 10 and b equal to 0.3? How will I use my print statement to get an output like a equal to 10 and b equal to 2.3? You can put your response in the chat box. Formulate a print statement so that it is giving me this output. A equal to 10 and B equal to 2.3.
Can you repeat a equal to what?
I'll show this one. I want
Okay,
A
a equal to 10 and b
whatever
equal to
the content
2.3.
of A you are using, and B equal to whatever the content of B you are using. Gaurav, I'm copying your screen. Okay. I'm running your statement, Gaurav. You are given A equal to B equal to. Tell me what it says. Syntax error. So what can I do? How should I correct this?
So variable, I can change the variable name. I mean, while printing, we have A similar to A. We can change it with a capital A.
No,
Will
no.
that
See,
be work?
your error message is what? Syntax error.
Syntax.
So somewhere in the syntax you have missed the mistake. So look at your individual print statement, Gaurav. You will use print, then A equal to. After the quotes, you have to use the comma operator followed by the variable name. Right?
Okay.
So correct that syntax. Okay, fine. Run this. So here, Ketaki, you have used multiple print statement. I want you to use a single print statement and then display the output as A equal to 10 and B equal to 2.3. I don't want multiple print statements.
Okay.
Single print statement should do. Fine, Gaurav. I'm again running your code. A equal to 10, B equal to 2.3. Fine.
Ma'am, one more thing here. So once we create the folder in Jupyter Notebook, folder and a file, I've created a .text file, .txt file. Okay. So I'm not getting the window as you are getting right now, the editor
It's
window.
not the text file you have to open. You have to open the Python 3 file. You have to open a Python 3 file. Go to new Python 3. Okay. That will open your Jupyter Notebook.
I'm just launching.
So using Jupyter Notebooks, you can run your code. The other one is just a text file. Fine, Ketaki. Now this will work. Print A equal to A followed by and. Yes, this works. Dinesh, how about you? So you can do this in multiple ways, like what Gaurav done is fine. This print statement is going to give you that is print. You have used the statement A equal to within quotes, followed by the comma operator, then the variable name A, and then you have again used quotes, and within that you have put the statement B equal to, followed by the comma operator and the variable name. So the multiple print statement, what we have used here, he has just combined it and put it into a single print statement. So that is fine. Another way that you could use here is you can use a format method. That is, you will use the print statement I want a statement A equal to, followed by, I'm expecting to print the content of my variable A. So I will use a curly brackets here, right? I'm going to use a format method. So this is how I have to use the format method. What I'm going to do is, I want the statement A equal to, followed by the value or content of my variable A. So I will use a curly brackets and I will put a index value as 0. I'll show you what these index values are. And then I want the statement and B equal to, followed by the value of variable B. So whenever you intend to display the value of a variable, you can use this curly brackets and give some index value. What is index value, you will get to see now. So this is done. I want A equal to, followed by the value of A. So I have used curly brackets, and B equal to the value of variable B. So again, I have used a curly brackets. Use the quotes, use a dot operator, call the format method. Format, I want to display the values of A first and then B. So I will pass the variable name A followed by B. So what it means here is, the variable A is associated with an index value of 0. And that index value is what I have given here. So this 0 index value always corresponds to the first variable of your format method. 1 always corresponds to the second variable that you have passed to the format method. So how this print statement works is, it will display A equal to the text. Curly brackets means that you're going to print the value of a variable. Which variable? You have given the index value as 0. So that 0 is corresponding to the first variable that you have specified here, which is A. Then a statement and B equal to, you have an index value 1 here, which is corresponding to the second variable inside your format method. So if I execute this, I can see the output A equal to 10 and B equal to 2.3. Suppose if you want to display one more variable, let's say C. If I say and C equal to, I want the content of variable C as well. I will say 2 and I will add one more variable here, C. So this is giving me A equal to 10 and B equal to 2.3 and C is equal to 1 plus 3. You can change these index value. What happens if you change these values are, suppose if I give 2, if I give this as 0 and this as 1. What happens here is, this print statement will start working like, it displays A equal to. Then you want to display some value. What value? The index value is 2 here. Index value 2 means it is corresponding to the third variable. So what the content of this third variable, that is going to be displayed. That is 1 plus 3j. And you have B equal to. You want to display the content of some variable. So index value 0 corresponds to the first variable you have specified. That is A. Value of A is 10 and C equal to, index value 1 corresponds to the second variable. So C is equal to 2.3. This would have been your output if you have changed the index values. Following me?
Yes.
Yeah, please note down. Those who have the notebook, please execute and verify your output. Others can note down the statement and you can verify it later once your Jupyter notebook is ready.
Ma'am, I'm getting an error here while printing the last statement. That was
Can you please
printing
share your
A and
screen?
B.
Yeah. Can
Definitely.
you share your screen, please?
Sure. I'm just sharing the screen. One
Yes,
minute.
yes, sure.
Let me know once you can see my screen.
Sure. Oh, yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, so this is where I've tried putting hash as well, but it executes as a statement, right? When I put hash here.
Hash, one more thing. Yes, I forgot to say that. Hash is used to comment a particular line.
I've
Okay.
removed that in the next.
A is not defined. Okay. Don't use like A equal to 10 and B equal to 20. Remove that and put B equal to 20 in your next line. Run yourself. Got the output, right? A equal to 10, B equal to 20.
So this has more space here, if you can see.
That is default how it is processing.
Can we adjust that? I mean, according
You will
to
have to use the format methods then. Or what you can do is just in your A, after A, put a space before the assignment equal to operator, but still it will have space. Run. Still it will have that space. You cannot do anything for that.
Okay, sure.
So what I recommend here is when you have multiple variables to be displayed or multiple data, if you intend to display using a single print statement, it is always good to use the format method.
Okay.
Format method as I have to.
Yeah.
So I'll just.
Should I stop sharing?
Yes, sure. I'll just put this statement in chat box. You can verify this and let me know if it's working for you.
Are you talking about this
Format method?
Format method. Okay.
Yes. Let me know once you have verified.
Yeah, just a second.
Yes. Dinesh and Ketake, are you following me? Dinesh? Is everything fine?
Yes. Can you repeat the last A equal to B format?
Format method, sure. See, I'm taking some new variables. Let me say x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, z equal to. My screen is okay.
It's working fine, Aswati.
Okay.
So am I pronouncing your name correct?
It's Ashwati.
Okay, Ashwati.
Yes. Okay. So you are from Pune?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at Pune in 2012, I guess. Yeah, 2012 to Pune. Never I could. People used to call me by different names. I used to mostly hear Avasti. That's why.
So it depends on the accent that you are using, right?
Yes.
So different regions will have different accents.
Yes. That's why I immediately asked, are you from Pune? Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. So x is equal to 1, y equal to 2, and z is equal to 3. I have 3 variables here, right? So I want to use my display statement and I'm going to display the values of x, y, and z. The order I'm keeping it like first I'm going to display the value of x, second y, and third z. You can change the order also accordingly. It's up to you to keep up the order in displaying because that is not going to have any impact. Your aim or intent is to display the values of the variables. So let me go like first displaying the value of x, then y, and then z. Okay. So I will use the print method. I'll use the quotes and I want x is equal to first, followed by the value of x. So I will use a curly brackets. So the first value I have to display x. So I will use an index as 0. Then I want, suppose instead of using and, let me use comma. X is equal to the value of x, comma, y equal to the value of y. So if you want any value, you will have to use the curly brackets. Second position is the value of y. So that second position, I will use the index value 1 because we are starting with 0. Indexing mostly in Python starts with 0. When we use the sequence data type, you will get to know that indexing in Python is starting with 0. So the first position always has an index value 0. Second will have index 1, etc. So the second value that I'm going to display here is y. So within the curly brackets, I have to provide the index value. So I have given it as 1. Now let me say and z equal to, I want the value of z, so I'll use curly brackets and then the index. Dot operator, I will use format method. So first, it's the value of x. So I will give the variable name as x, comma. Second, the value of y. So I will use the variable name y. Third, z. If I execute this, you can see your output x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2 and z is equal to 3. The values of x, y, and z are displayed accordingly. Suppose if you want the value of z, suppose you want the order like z, x, y, how will you do? Same technique you use. Anyway, you can use this. Z is equal to curly brackets. The first value is z. Then comma, x is equal to, the next value is x. So I gave 1, comma, y. Y is equal to, I'll use curly brackets. The next is 2. So here, format, be careful when you pass the variable names here. First it is z. Second one, it is x. Then it is y. Now you will get z, x, and y order. So this order, you can manage it accordingly. Right? Please verify these. And those who don't have notebook, you can note down these print statements.
So
Hmm.
one question here.
Yes.
Instead of indexing,
Hmm.
can we have some wordings
No.
like strings that x
No.
equals to
Where with in format
with the
method, you
print
have
statement? Yeah, format method I'm talking about.
format method you cannot use. This is the syntax. Format here, you have to give the indices. You cannot change that.
Okay, so in format method, I always have to use the indexes. Is that
Yes,
the
yes.
case?
That's the case. Yes, you cannot change that. That's the syntax how you have to use the format method.
Okay.
Yeah. Dinesh, understood now?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So one more point with respect to print method. Suppose I'm giving print I, same cell, I have print hello. If I run this, you can see your outputs, hi in first line, hello in the next line. Now, let me use a print statement. I will say hi. use one more argument here called as end. Okay. If I say end is equal to, let me say star, any character. Next line, I will use simply the print statement, hello. So what is the difference between these two lines of codes? Here, I simply used to print two print statements, hi and hello. So first print statement will give your output as hi. Second print statements gives your output as hello. So hi and hello is displayed, and they are onto two different lines. Second code, I added a parameter called as end. So in these two cases, end was not there. Now I added a new element end equal to, I used the star symbol. I'm going to execute. What is my output? Hi. Then you have the star, and onto the same line you're getting hello. What can you infer from this behavior? What can you comment about the print method by looking into these two pieces of code?
So it executes the command which is in parenthesis. I mean single or double quotes.
Fine.
But here end was not defined. So we don't need to define anything in print statement, right?
That is, print method has a element or parameter end. By default, that end is new line. By default, this end is new line. It is equivalent to saying end is equal to, you have new line which is slash n. By default, that is, if you are not talking about the end, this end parameter, end means what? After displaying your statement, what you have to do, that is the end. After displaying hi, what has to be done next? That is the meaning of end. So by default, end means it's a new line that you want to display. So how this print statement is processed is, it displays hi and then it prints a new line. And onto that new line, you have the next instruction to print hello. So there also I have not used the end parameter, so it displays a new line. But in this case, I'm changing that default value and I have given a character star to be displayed at the end. So what happens? Here it displays hi, then at the end, after displaying hi, it is a star character that you have to print. So that new line is no more displayed now. And then the next print statement. So onto the same line, it is displaying hello. Now, hello, I have not used any end statement. So after displaying hello, it moves to the next line. That is, if I have another print statement here. I would have got the output like this. Hi, then star hello onto the single line, and onto the next line, you will get all. So that is the end parameter. What you have to do after displaying the statements, whatever you have given to your display print. Following me?
Yes.
Yeah, please note
Yes.
down. Okay, please note down.
Yeah, I'm just.
So this is about the handling of outputs, about the print method. Shall we move with the input method? Shall I move with the input method or do you need more time?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Ketaki and Dinesh, good to go with input method?
Yep.
One question is, sorry.
Yes?
Yeah, my installation is done. Do I need to sign up? It's showing me
No,
register
don't
for
sign up.
Anaconda Nucleus.
No need to register. You can go with the individual edition and without signing in, you can get in.
Uh, so I need to go to installers or
Yes, if the downloading is done, you can just run the install.
okay.
Gaurav, are you asking something?
Yeah, so regarding the input method, so for print method you have only suggested format method, right?
Right.
What if I have to I asked you the question like if I have to print a statement or print a value with a strings like words, like the value of your output or value of your print statement is this. So is there
Just
any
show me an
different
example.
method?
Just show me an example. Okay, your screen,
Like
type and show me. Yeah, tell me.
A equal to 10 and b equal to 20. So if I have to print value of a is, so in words, if I have to
Okay, that
print that.
is if your
So,
A is equal to, let me say, what, some string.
no, it's still a number. I'm not talking about strings here. Number only. If a equals to 10, and then you have b equal to 20, and if I have to print a statement that says in words that a equals to 10,
So you
will
will
that
have to
be
write that. It will not, by default, it will not give you 10. You will have to say A equal to, you will have to give it like 10. You have to write it that. You don't have anything like converting your numeric to what string type.
no? Actually, no. I was not asking about that. Actually, I want to print a statement like thing, like
A equal to 10.
the value of a
Ah.
is still it will be the number only. I don't want it in words, but I am adding some words to it, like the value of a. Here you are simply putting a equals to, right? Yeah.
Like
So I
this.
want to, yeah, like this.
A equal to, you give A.
That's it.
That's it.
So
See, this is, you can write anything here in this part.
yeah, sorry, I have interrupted you.
No problem. You can write anything here in this part. This is the text that you are giving. So whatever you want, the value of A or the number is, anything you can give here.
And can I put that parenthesis in that the earlier method in format method? We used value. We put a value in a parenthesis, right? Like indexing. You have defined indexing in the in this curly bracket. Sorry.
Curly brackets.
So instead of that, so we in format method that is indexing is used, right?
Yes,
But
indexing is.
what if I don't use format method like dot format, right? And in this curly brackets,
No,
I want to
you
print
use
something or
form. If you are using format method only, you will have to use curly brackets.
okay.
Otherwise, don't use curly brackets. If you're using format method, then only use the curly brackets and the index. Got it?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. So now, yeah.
Ashriti, I
Yes.
guess I think I'm struggling with the installation.
Please share your screen.
Actually, I'm using I joined Skype from my iPad and my laptop is different, so
Okay.
maybe I
What
can.
issue it is saying?
Yeah, so I installed it and I don't know from where I can open it. I don't know. I think I missed some steps. So when you were explaining,
Okay.
I wanted to open the Jupyter notebook, but I think
Just to see if the installation is completed in your search, you just give Anaconda Navigator and see if it is installed or not. Just search for Anaconda Navigator.
okay, yes. Yep, it's loading, I guess now.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. I think I missed that step.
No problem, sir. Okay, so let's move with handling inputs now. So just like we use the print statement to display data onto the screen, to read a data from your keyboard or from the user, we can use the input method. So when we use input method, the input method handles data as string. Whatever data you get from the keyboard using the input method, that will be processed as a string data type. That is, for example, let's say I want to read to S instead of assigning S with a value. Suppose if I'm going to read this value from the user, I will use the input method. So this will open up a new console. And here, as an argument to the input method, you can give the message whatever you want to display to the user. For example, let me say enter a string. I'll ask the user to enter a string. If I execute this, you can see the console that is coming here and the message that is displayed beside, that is enter a string. Suppose if I give a string hello, after giving your input, you can hit the enter button. And now if you check the content of S, how do you check the content of S? Simply display S. You can see the content is hello. If you check the type of S, it will be str. So we are giving a string only here. So the data type of S is also a string. Suppose if you are asking the user for a number, a numeric data. For example, if I'm saying X is equal to input, enter a number. I'll run this. I'll ask the user to enter a number. So I'll give 12. I will hit the enter button. And let me display my X. I could see 12. If I check the type of X, my type is string. It's not a integer. So this is what I told. Input method, it is going to handle your data as a string. Let it be a numeric value that you give from the keyboard. Let it be a complex number that you give from the keyboard. Let it be any kind of data. The input method is going to handle that particular data as a string type. So if you intend to work with the numeric data, you will have to do a typecasting operation. What is typecasting? Typecasting means what? Changing one data type to another. So here X is holding what? String. I want to convert that string to an integer type. 12 is an integer. So I want to convert this string type to an integer. So how will I do? The new data type name I will say. So that is int. I will use parenthesis and I will give the name of my variable. What is the existing variable? X. What is the data type of X? str. This str will now be converted to integer. Let me take this to a variable y. Let me store this result to a variable y. So what is happening in this statement? X, which is a string type, will now be converted to integer, and that result is stored to a new variable y. I'm executing this. If I print my y, you can see the output as 12. If I check the type of y, that will be now integer. So when you work with input method, instead of splitting this into multiple steps, you can do the entire process in one step. That is, if I say a is equal to input, I'll ask the user to enter a number. So you know this is now of type str. A will be holding a str value. Instead of that, I'm going to convert this entire thing to integer. What will I do? So whatever data I get from here, this was earlier received to my variable x. Instead of that, the result of this data I'm converting to integer type and I'm storing to a variable a. Whatever we have done in the previous multiple steps, I have combined them and put it into a single step. So now if I run this, it is asking me to enter a number. I gave 34. And now if I display my A, it is 34. And if I type of A, this is integer type, not a string. So using input method, if you intend to read a new numeric data, please do the typecasting step. Right? Either you can do it in a single step or you can split it into multiple steps and do. So this is how you read a data from the user using the input method. So 2 points you have to take care here. One is to read a data, we will use input method. Second point is very important. Input method always handles the data in the form of a string. So if you intend to proceed with a numeric data, make sure that you do a typecasting operation. Following me? Following?
Yes,
Yes.
Please verify. Please verify.
just implementing.
Yes. Right. Let me know if you have verified, okay?
Yeah, verified.
Okay.
So one just wanted to reconfirm.
Yes.
So I've just put it in the chat. So this kind of statement is also valid, right?
Equal to hint input intro number. B equal to A. This is also fine. So what you are doing here is, I'll say you are keeping a backup of A. Or you are copying A to B. A is already of type integer. That integer you are copying into variable B. You're displaying your variable B. You're checking the type of it. Right?
Yes, that was right.
Fine. Dinesh, Ketaki, done?
Actually, my Jupyter notebook just opened, so I was trying to assign values, which we tried in the initial steps, but that's giving me. I'm not able to assign any values for A, B, C, or X, Y, Z as we did in example.
Is it throwing any errors?
No, I just typed in A equal to 10 as we tried the first time and tried to run it.
Might be it is taking little time. Just look at it, might be still loading.
Okay.
You can look at the notebook here at the top. If there you could see some hourglass kind of thing, it means it's still running. So once every process is completed, you can see a notebook kind of thing at the top.
Okay.
So is it still running?
No, I think it's not.
I have one more question here.
Yes, sir.
By mistake, if we have extra cell in our Jupyter notebook, do we have any shortcut apart from cutting it, like from the top toolbar? Do we have any keyboard shortcut to remove that? An
You
extra.
have, see, multiple shortcuts are available. You have a help option here where you could see keyboard shortcuts.
Okay.
Whole list of shortcuts is given. So you can select it from there. Okay. You can have a look here. Whole bunch of shortlists are listed here.
Thank you.
Okay, what's the status now?
Yes, it started working. So I'm trying this A equal to integer wala input.
Fine. If any issues, please let me know. So that's about handling inputs and outputs in Python. Gaurav, in the last session, did we discuss about list? No, right? We just talked only about strings, I guess.
Yeah.
So let me just give an overview of the data types in Python. So data types in Python is split into multiple categories, like you have numeric type. Numeric type, we have already seen integers, then float, then complex. Another category is you have sequence types of data. So Gaurav, what is sequence types of data?
Sequence. Actually, I don't know about it. in the last session I was traveling, so I didn't
Okay.
had much.
Right. Okay. No problem. We'll come to it. So sequence type, it is list. You have then tuple. These are all data types. And then you have string. So apart from sequence types of data, you have other types like dictionary. You have set. And you have bool. This is the whole set of data types, inbuilt data types that you have in Python. So numeric part we have dealt, integer, float, and complex type. Next, we will start with the sequence types of data. So sequence types of data means you have a well-defined order for storing your data. So as in the case of string, you know string. One character followed by the other. If it is the string hello, you start with the character H, next will be E, next will be L, again L, and then O. So you have a well-defined order of arrangement for your data. So that is sequence data types. And in sequence data types, you have various types like list, tuple, and string. So let's start with the string data type. Please make a note of this data types, how it is categorized.
Just one question. So str data type, would it be different from string?
No. It's string. We say it's string, but Python, it is like the keyword it is showing as str.
Okay.
So in, float, complex, all these are keywords to represent the various types of data. Same way like str also. It's a keyword that's representing the string kind of data in Python. So I hope you have noted this.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So string, as you know, it's a collection of one or more characters put in a single quote or double quote. I told you there is no difference in using single quote or double quote in Python. Okay, let's just verify that. So if I say A is equal to, if I put within single quotes, hello. If I check the type of A, it is str. If I say B is equal to, if I put the same within double quotes, if I check the type of B, that's also str. If I print my A and B as well, there is no difference in displaying as well. So in Python, whether you use your strings in single quotes or double quotes, it is fine. There's no difference. You could use them interchangeably. Right? Suppose if you need to have multiple lines, then you can make use of triple quotes. That is, if I say C is equal to, I'll use triple quotes. Hi. Next line, I want to store hello. Welcome. If this is the case, if I check the type of C, the data type will be the same. Only thing is you have strings in multiple lines. If you display your C, you can have them in multiple lines. That is hi in first line, hello, and then welcome. So if you want to handle strings in multiple lines, put them within triple quotes. So that's the usage of triple quotes in Python. You can execute and see your outputs. Verify it, please. Let me know if you have verified.
Yes. So when we put this in triple quotes, we have to separate it by new line.
No. It's if you want to put them in multiple lines, you can. It's not necessary that you have to use multiple lines, but if required, you can put them in multiple lines.
Yeah, verified.
Okay. So suppose let's take another data. Let's say A is equal to, let me take a simple string hello. So this A will be arranged like this. H first, E, L, L, O. Suppose if you require to access the elements of this string, you will have to access them through their indices. So as I told earlier, in Python, indexing starts with 0. So here also to each position, there will be a corresponding index value, like it starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same way like you have positive indices, you can have negative indexing as well. So -1 always refer to the last character of your string and 0 will always refer to the first character of your string. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4 and -5. So if you want to access any of the characters of your string, what you have to do is specify your string name. What is my string name? Variable, the variable name. So that is A. Use the square brackets and within this specify the index position. So if it is 0, this will access the first character of your string. If I have given A of say 3, I will get the character L. If I give A of 4, I will get the character O. If I say A of -1, I will get the last character, that is O. So through indexing technique, I can access the individual characters of my string. So accessing the elements of your string are done through indexing technique. So let's verify this. Suppose if I say, let me put this within the print statement so that I can display print A of, if I say 0. This will give me the first character of my string. If I say A of 3, I'll get the character L. Negative indexing also you can try. If I say print A of -1, this will give me the last character of my string. So please verify. Able to access? Verify.
Yes.
So, indexing techniques helps you to access the elements of your string. So, suppose if I say A of 0, this is accessing the first position of your string or the first character of your string. If I say equal to a character X, what is the meaning of this statement? What is the meaning of this statement?
It might replace H with X.
Yeah, it might replace H with X, but that's not possible in Python. You got a type error here. It says that str object does not support item assignment. That means it's not possible for you to modify the individual characters of your string. Once created, you cannot modify your string. So we say string as immutable data type in Python. Means you cannot modify the same. So this is an important point. String is an immutable data type. Note down, string is an immutable data type in Python. You cannot modify your string once created. You can execute and see. You can note down the type error that you're getting. And then note down this point that string is an immutable data type in Python.
We can completely change its value by simply saying A equal to
Yes,
a different
that you
string,
can.
but
That you can
indexing
do.
we can't.
Yes,
Okay.
you can say no. You can say A is equal to, you can replace this A with a new string. You can say A
Got
is
it.
equal to, you can put it with a new string height. This is possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Same way, del is a keyword that you use in Python to delete a data. Okay. So del is a keyword to delete a data. So if I say del A of 0, what am I trying to do here? What am I trying to do here?
Deleting.
Yeah, deleting the first character of your string. Right? Deleting the first character of your string. What do you think the behavior will be?
Error.
Error. It's an error. You cannot modify the value. Right? Because I told string is immutable. So neither you cannot modify nor you cannot replace it with a new value. Whereas it is possible for you to delete your entire string. This works. Right? So please note down. So let me define my new A. If I say welcome. Suppose if you want to access multiple characters of your string, then what you have to do is, so again the indexing technique you will have to use. So use your variable name, use the square brackets. You can specify a range of index values. That is, if I say 0 and you use colon operator here to specify the range of indices. If I say 0 colon 3, this will access the characters present at the 0th index, first and second. Third is not included. This accesses the elements or characters present at the index 0, 1 and 2. 3 is not included. So 0th index you have W, then E, and then L. So 0, 1, 2. 3 is not included. Please verify. Dinesh, are you following me?
So it will always miss out on the characters that we have given.
Yes.
Like if I give 0:4, then it will print only 3 characters.
Yes, 0
right?
to 3. 4 will not be included. Always the second index that you specify here, that will not be included. Just the value less than to that will be included. If you give print 2 colon this will give from the second index to fourth. So 0, 1, 2. So L is included. 2, 3, 4. LCO. 5 is not included. You can try with negative indexing as well. What will be the output for this? 0 colon minus 2.
It will be W and then M. Sorry, E.
WELCO. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7. So 0. So 0 is included. So 0 to minus 2, right? So this is minus 2 value just before that. It will print from WELCO up to this. Minus 2 is not included, a value just before that.
I tried this one out of curiosity. Print A of -1 colon -4,
Hmm.
and it did not give me any result. So it does it not go in a reverse or what?
No, it doesn't go. That is, when we say simply colon, we will say the step size. It is taking the step size as 1. Default, it is step size is 1. So -1, it cannot move further. So from the reverse, you cannot access it like this. There is nothing to be displayed. From -1, it cannot go back to -4. So there is nothing
Got
to
it.
be displayed.
Okay.
You will get an empty output, right?
Yes, empty output. Right.
So this technique is also called as slicing. You're slicing, you're cutting down your input data, right? So this is also called as slicing technique. So that's about the strings. creating your string, accessing the elements of your string, and the point to be remembered, string is an immutable data type in Python.
So the technique that we were doing, it's called slicing, right?
Slicing, yes, slicing, string slicing. Same
And,
technique, yeah. Same
what if
techniques.
what if we want the characters from minus, like if I have to spell welcome in a
In
reverse
reverse
order.
order. Think about the logic, what you have to do. How can you, okay, you can take this as a assignment, reverse your string. Read a string. Okay, you can try this program. I'll put it in the chat box as well. Let's take it as an assignment. You can complete it for tomorrow. Read an input string from user and reverse your string. Just think about it. We'll discuss tomorrow. Same indexing technique you will have to apply, because through indexing only you can access the elements of your string. So you have positive indexing and negative indexing. So think about the same. We'll discuss tomorrow. So you know how to read data from the user. So you will have to use the input method. Tell me, do you need to typecast your data here in this task? In this program, do you need to typecast your data, because you will be using input method? So you have to read an input from the user, you will use input method. Will you need to typecast your data?
No.
No, because it's a string. So don't do typecasting here. Read a data from the user and see how you can reverse your string. It's again the indexing technique. So some logic you will have to apply here.
Do we have class tomorrow at the same time?
No, tomorrow you will have it 11:30. Okay. Or I'll confirm you once. Okay, I'll confirm. Anyway, you'll be coming at 11:30 again, right? So I'll confirm you at that time. Okay, I'll confirm the timing. So is that clear? Whatever we have discussed now, handling inputs and outputs and the string data type. Fine.
Yes.
Let's catch up back again at 11:30. Let's leave for now. We will meet again at 11:30. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay then. Yeah. Bye-bye. Let's catch up at 11:30 then. Bye.
Do we need to stay in the same call until that, or we can join back later?
You
At
can join
11:30?
back later. Same link, join back later. You can leave the call, join back at 11:30.
Okay.
Okay.